Bronze Torbjorn. I'm excited for this. Let's check it out. So we've got... Okay, so you're a Bronze Torbjorn, and what's your frame rate? So you're locked to 60, 80 ping, so that's within the realm of reasonable. We'll have to see if the FPS drops or not. But Genji, so Mercy, Genji, Torbjorn, Reaper, Reinhardt, Roadhog. Not bad for Bronze, not bad at all. You know, one flanker, you get a little bit of area denial with the Junkrat, a shield, good healing. You know, Reaper and Roadhog are basically more or less self-sufficient, but we'll have to see. And you're playing this on Oasis, I think, okay? Okay, let's see how you do. So they've taken position on the point. Nice kill. Nice kill. I actually really like, people always kind of like underestimate how weird Bronze can be sometimes, but you've got an Orisa and Roadhog on the enemy team. You know, your Reinhardt is helping you out, actually secure your turret and whatnot. So the first thing that I'm noticing is that it's taking you quite a while to actually like look around, as well as sound cues. You're not reacting to them, but so far this is not as bad as most people assume Bronze to actually be. It's yours. Did you want to jump on comms with me? Did you want to jump on comms with me?
It's me.
It's you! Is it actually you?
Yeah. Omni. Yeah.
Okay.
Omni.
Okay. I believe you. Okay. So, Bronze Torbjorn. Nod say yes?
Nod say yes?
Nod say yes. You are the Bronze Torbjorn.
Yes, I am the Bronze. Yes, I am.
Yes.
Hello?
Okay. Hi. Give me a second here.
All right, cool. Should I switch off your stream? Because then I'll be getting an echo.
Yes, preferably switch off the screen.
All right.
Your Discord ID is showing as a different... Why is your Discord...
Yeah, my Twitch and my Discord ID are different, but it's Omni on Twitch and... Sorry, Omni on Discord and Omni in game.
Okay. You're not the person listed on my spreadsheet. SUJ number 5731?
Yeah. When the nickname on this Discord is Omni, because my game name is Omni. The Torbjorn is Omni, right? The player's name is Omni.
Okay, fine. Okay. I don't think you're the real one.
I am.
You are?
I can.
Chat, am I being bamboozled?
No, it is me. Look at the game. It's Omni in game.
Yeah, but
everyone knows it.
Everyone knows it. Okay.
Yeah, everyone in Discord knows it.
Okay. Well, I guess we will find out soon enough, Mr. Omni. So, how long have you been playing the game then?
So I started playing in season 9.
You started playing in season 9, so just recently.
Like the end of season 9, and I started playing Bastion and a Junkrat, mainly Junkrat.
Mm-hmm.
So in season 9, I placed in 1600.
Oh, so you haven't been to silver before?
Yeah. I climbed to 1800 at the end of season 9.
Nice.
And then season 10 started, and I again did my placements at about 1600, climbed to 1800, and it's just been a free fall from there. I landed down to 750 SR.
750. So you've seen the triple digits. What is the craziest thing you've seen in the depths of bronze?
Oh, I have I don't want to advertise myself, but I have a video on YouTube where I'm playing Zenyatta and my team is just running around doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just staying and just looking at my team doing their thing.
The thing.
Yeah. They're running around alone, 1v6. I've seen a Brigitte, yeah. So
1v6 would imply that one of the team has a 6.
Yeah, so we were on King's Row, and there are 6 people there defending, and we are attacking on King's Row. and this Brigitte spawns, right? And I'm like, guys, group up. Let's group up. Don't trickle it. And Brigitte and Moira are 2 stacks. And this Brigitte runs in alone, pops her rally alone, and runs in trying to kill 1v6. And I asked the other 4 to just wait and spawn because I know she's going to die.
Well, at
I'm
least
like,
she's not
let's
a
wait for the
coward.
Brigitte to die. Yeah, rally to me and just run in 1v6, die.
Like she
and
literally,
that's it.
that was her communication, was rally to me, and you were the one who didn't listen to
Yeah.
her calls. Come on, man.
We were dead. The 4 of us are dead. We couldn't do anything. We were
But why were
respawning.
you, oh, okay. I'll stop messing with you. Now, so what about Torbjorn and Bastion kind of like caught your interest when you first started playing this game?
Right, because I'm very bad aiming, kind of.
So you have no previous
So
FPS experience?
No, none at all.
So it's not something that you like feel that you want to like practice. You just want to start on the heroes that are like easier on aim to kind of get used to the
so
game.
mainly I play supports. Like even if I play like an MMORPG, I used to play a support which could do a lot of damage because those are, like Zenyatta kind of.
Mm-hmm.
They are kind of my characters. But so I was just watching a few videos and Bastion looked good. I like picking up characters that people thought were not good.
So you're drawn to the off-meta heroes, are you?
Yeah, kind of. So
Okay.
I picked up Bastion, and I watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to play Bastion, mainly colorblind, and I watched many of her videos, how she positions herself and stuff, and it wasn't working out for me, especially in comp. In quick play, I was playing Bastion very well, but when I started playing comp, I couldn't. So I switched to Junkrat then immediately.
Okay. Do you play with headphones?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I have to do the screen share with you.
Okay.
Why did you give yourself the Grandmaster role on Discord?
Because every bronze is a Grandmaster Heartstuck.
Every bronze has a Grandmaster inside of them just waiting
It's
to get out.
Grandmaster Hearts. Yeah, we are Heartstuck in bronze because of our team, but we are Grandmasters at heart.
I like it. Okay, let me set up that. Can you add me on friends? Add me as friends here?
Yeah, go.
Even if he is faking it, let's see how long he can keep going. Okay, can you hear me still?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to set up the screen share here.
All
You
right.
should be able to see my screen now.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, let's your Reaper got 3 and your turret got this is the second time you've killed the Tracer here. Very nice.
Yeah.
And then you Molten Core without setting up your turret first, which is fine. Start
This was actually a raw Molten Core because the team was dead, so I don't know. I shouldn't have ulted here.
That's good that you recognize that. What do you think your main issue is on Torbjorn?
Sometimes I can't play turret right. Like I'll just go to play turret and I'll die because the enemy will just aim me down.
So, like, you're putting turrets in too risky of a position? That's
Yeah,
one of the
I'm
things-
trying to. I'm flanking a lot as Torbjorn,
Okay.
trying to get behind enemy teams and place turrets there.
Now, what about flanking, I suppose, as Torbjorn makes you, like, what sort of situation do you find yourself in that you're like, hey, I should flank here?
Like on Dorado, right? I just
Yeah.
run through. Like I don't. No one would expect a Torbjorn to be there. And I
Well,
would
you're
just
not
Set up
wrong.
a turret. Yeah.
Nobody expects the flanking Torbjorn. You're
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't necessarily mean that the flanking Torbjorn is a good idea, though.
Yeah, I realize that. It's not always a good idea. Sometimes I should stay on the payload, but sometimes I think many people who just play Torbjorn, they just put the turret on the payload, and it doesn't work out always. So if you let me try some different playstyle, Torbjorn.
So you kind of like, we're in this situation. Let's actually just rewind it just a little bit. So you're walking up
Alright.
these stairs here. You obviously
Yeah.
need to put your turret somewhere. Where are you going to put your turret?
So I was trying to go to the high ground and put it on the T over there, so
Yeah.
the turret has a good view. I actually tried to do that before, but I I didn't know where the stairs were to go up, so I got confused before the Junkrat killed me.
So what about the what about the high ground with the turret? Is like would make you think that that's a good place to put it up there?
So first of all, I feel if it's on the high ground, it's tougher to destroy if the enemies are below it, and it has a good view of the entire the point, right? It can hit everyone.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and I sometimes I put on the high ground and then I go to the low ground myself. So people who are trying to hide from the turret, I can try to attack them.
Now the other thing that I'm seeing here is that you're giving yourself armor, but no one on your team is ever getting armor.
Yeah, so sometimes, like if I see a Mercy in off time, let's say we've kept the point, or before going in, I'll try to give my healer's armor especially. But even if I use voice comms, first of all, nobody uses voice comms in bronze for some reason. And even if I tell my Mercy that, there's armor here, just pick it up, my Mercy won't. And my Reinhardt will pick up the armor for some reason. So
what percent, like how many of your games do you think that you actually get people on voice comms in bronze with you?
Less than 10%.
Less than 10%?
Yeah.
Did it get better when you were in silver, or is it just awful everywhere you go to?
I think silver was a bit better than bronze. Bronze is just do your own thing. I've actually had better communication in quick play than bronze.
I'd never ever communicate in group. The only time I'm ever playing quick play is when I just want to spam Genji and feed like just a crazy man.
7 point.
Oh, so you're actually making comms in game?
I'm trying to, but I know nobody's going to listen. And I see 9 over here. I should stay on point, but I didn't.
Chat finally is convinced that you're actually the real Omni.
I don't know why they won't be convinced. Like, I'm not.
It was pretty sketchy at the start. I wasn't completely convinced myself either. Okay, that mystery is solved. I'm glad you spoke on comms in the video.
I was asking that Jayne, I can get on comms.
Yeah, it's just like you. So you have a different. You submit like your Twitch name is different than your Discord name, and the Discord name you're using right now is different than the Discord name you submitted to the spreadsheet. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, that's my actual Discord ID, and this is my nickname.
It's a voice changer. Oh, chat now thinks you're using a voice changer. Perfect.
I don't know why.
And you have gold damage here. You're 3-in-1 ED, gold damage, 45% weapon accuracy. You're not doing that bad. You're not doing that bad. Let's keep...
Most of my games as Torbjorn, I have gold damage, and I think as a Torbjorn player, you need gold damage and gold LMs, or your team is going to flame you.
I was talking to a Grandmaster. Do you know who No Hit is? A Grandmaster Torbjorn player? He took a break recently. He came back during Season 10. Anyway, I was talking to him about like what he considers, a successful game on Torbjorn. And his statement was that he always wants to do more damage with his gun than he does with his turret. That's what he considers a successful game. So your turret, I think, is doing the vast majority of your work, especially in bronze, where the the time at which it will take an opposing team to kill your turret is simply reduced. I would suspect that the vast majority of your damage is coming from your turret. And just from looking at it, a lot of your turret placements aren't completely optimal. Like, if we're looking at the turret place that you just put at that ledge there, if you had put it closer to the edge, it would be able to shoot at much more of a downward angle. But quite a few times, you actually put them really quite a distance from the edge, and your turret isn't really able to aim downwards. And there's kind of like two different ways that you want to be able to place your turret. So it's kind of like, I'm going to, have you, Numbani, do you know much about the Numbani map? Okay, so where would you put your Torbjorn turret if you're on defense here?
Alright, so one option is, I'd like to go behind the payload.
Behind the payload?
Yeah, on the high ground.
On the high ground, like over here?
Yeah, so that's one place where I put it.
Okay, this is a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
So there's a couple pieces. You can put the turret on the planter here. This
I
one,
have such a. It's so difficult for me to place it here. Like, I don't think. I think I managed to put it only once there. Is there a trick to that?
yeah, just jump and then spam your left click as soon as it turns blue. It's just one of those things you could practice. So the turret goes here. This is pretty good. But anytime that you have turrets like these, you don't want the opponent, especially the higher ranks, to have long-range sight lines on your turret so that they can kind of destroy it before they engage. So anything like this, you know, if there was a Pharah, for example, over here, or if like they long range, this is like a pretty decent spot, but if they came from the high ground, they could kill it. So one of the better places that you could put it is actually just, you know, right behind the planter itself. Because what you want to do is make sure that the opponent can't deal with the turret before they fight on the objective. So if your turret is there, it will still be able to see a lot of area on the point. So that's like a pretty decent spot for a turret right there. And the same sort of mentality is where you would put, like in the same style of turret placement, is putting the turret into the bushes here.
I've seen this.
You've seen this spot. This is pretty common spot
These
for
placements I
Torbjorn.
learned from Defran. He puts it here and up there.
So not a lot of people put this here to start with, but this is kind of like the same sort of style of turret as having it up there, because the opponents can't deal with it until they are actually in a position where the rest of your team can also assist in pressuring them. So you don't want the opposing team to be able to attack your turret without they themselves getting attacked. That's like the golden rule of Torbjorn. Now, there's kind of like two other styles of turret, I guess. And the main one is a turret right in this location. So you would only ever do this turret location if you had like an Orisa sitting in this corner. And when Orisa was first released, I swear literally everybody ran this strat on Nimbani, where they put a Torb turret and an Orisa so that the Orisa shield would kind of like block the Torb turrets right here. And instead of being like, you can only have these style of turrets when you have somebody actively working with your turret. So if there is a Torbjorn kind of like sitting there, and then you have an Orisa there, then both the Torbjorn and Orisa, because they share sight lines, they can become more impactful. The turret and the Orisa can spam, you know, the high ground, the low ground, coast, main, wherever people go. Really the best way for you to dislodge this is actually to swing all the way around through blue and then kind of drop onto it without having taken these long sight lines to get to them, where they can spam you out. So you'd only ever use locations like this if you have some sort of individual kind of working with you. But you don't usually want a Reinhardt blocking your turret, because Reinhardt is more or less a close quarters hero and Orisa is a long range hero. So this sort of turret you would only place on, you know, when you have somebody, preferably an Orisa, working with it. But then your turret itself, when we're talking about like mid-fight or things like that, how you're going to be wanting to use your turret is in order to actually just get any value out of it. If you drop your turret like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, that it takes quite a long time for it to upgrade to level 2. And you could have spent that time actually shooting people with your gun. So in the middle of combat, it's actually usually not beneficial to upgrade your turret to level 2 unless you're going for the Molten Core. And the other thing is that you can actually animation cancel your firing with your turret placement. This is not something that not a lot of people know, is that if you are fighting a 1v1 or something, so if your turret is over there, for example, but I'm back here and I get caught out, even though my turret is set up somewhere else, if I get caught into a 1v1 with like a Trace or something, I'll be like, and then I will just have this level 1 turret being an annoyance, a distraction, and it can also body block some of the damage. So if like the Tracer is on the other side, instead of walking past it, you can use that turret to block some of the damage in your 1v1. So your turret has 150 HP. One of your armor is only 75. So if you're fighting like a flanker or something, fuck wherever your turret is actually placed down, animation cancel your turret, and then you can use it also to body block some of the damage and win 1v1s against flankers. It's very, very useful. And then the other thing that you can do with Torbjorn, do you know the reload trick on Torbjorn?
No, I don't.
So another, just while we're talking about like Torbjorn text and whatnot, so look at my ammo, right? It's at 15.
Yes.
Now it's at 12.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. You don't actually ever need to reload on Torbjorn. So if 3 swings of the hammer, 2 is not enough. Unless it's on Molten Core. I think it's 2 when you're in Molten Core. Switch, 1, 2. Nope. 1, 2, 3. Or is it 4 in Molten Core? 2, 3, 4. It's 4. Okay, so I got it backwards. I thought it was 1 less. It's 1 more in Molten Core because your hammer swings are even faster. So if you need to reload, you can just go 1, 2, 3. Boop.
So I can be meleeing my opponent.
Yeah,
and it'll reload on its own.
if you're close range on somebody, and your turret and your hammer also doesn't do like the normal 30. Your hammer does 55 unless I'm crazy. So it's also very hard to hit. But just like any other sort of melee, it's also piercing, right? So it's also like a piercing, so it can hit multiple targets and has a very tiny but lingering hitbox. So
I didn't know it was piercing.
yeah, so like melee as well can hit multiple targets. So
Okay. All right.
melee. Yeah, but there's a lot of different things that you can do on Torbjorn. So definitely like knowing that you don't have to reload. And also like your right click is good if you can land all of them, but right clicking will also cause you to reload a lot more frequently. And reloading will cause you to just your overall DPS will be lower. So if you can, you really want to get better at using your left click because it has a higher rate of fire and a higher DPS if you can actually land your shots. So although you picked Torbjorn because you don't want to aim or can't aim or whatever the reason is, he's most effective if you can land his left clicks because it will cause you to reload way less frequently and keep you shooting more. So the only time you're going to right click
So my right clicks
really
I
close
usually
in
use
range.
is against shields or like big enemies like Roadhog or something. That's when I prefer to use
Yeah,
my left click. Or if someone's like really close, like a tracer or something, then I'll start using left click.
yeah. If a tracer or somebody like those guys are really close, you know, a right click melee will do a ton of damage up close. So, guest audio is a little bit high. My bad. Okay, is there any like specific questions about Torbjorn as a character?
Armor here.
Character, not really like.
So like the general idea on Torbjorn is that you always want to save 2 of the cookies for yourself. So you'll want to give yourself 275 HP, and then also always have 50 HP remaining. So if you get into a fight with somebody, you can fight them. Your armor will be burnt, but in the middle of a fight, you can drop yourself another cookie. So if you have 200 scrap, 1 to yourself, keep 1 for yourself, and give 2 armor out. And then so always have 1 armor in reserve for yourself in case you need it, and that will dramatically reduce the amount of deaths you have on Torbjorn. So you gave yourself 1, and you've got 50, so this is good. No, you gave it away. Good left clicks here, because your right clicks wouldn't be very effective. Now your turret is... Yeah, so generally, if you want to be sneaky about it, you give a voice line that is very, very loud. And at the higher ranks, you always want to know how much your different abilities actually make noise. For example, Tracer's blinks are incredibly loud. So if you go on a flank, you can actually give yourself away by, you know, you want to flank faster and you have 3 blinks. So, you know, if you blink once, then you'll be able to get your 3rd blink back before you actually engage on an enemy. But blinking itself is noisy, so noisy. So you want to know how much sound your abilities do. And especially ultimates, like ultimates are map-wide voice lines, so people will always know where you are if you use it. So if you don't have a turret up first, definitely put your turret up before you Molten Core, so that it surprises people, especially if you are the flanking kind of Torbjorn. It will allow you to get your turret up a lot more successfully in more situations.
Okay.
The other thing you want to be doing is making sure that your turret actually has decent sightlines. So you see how you're placing it here? The turret is going to be looking towards your spawn. Now, the benefit of this turret is, of course, that like the opponent can't see it from their choke, but it's not providing enough value. So you're making your turrets too safe. And you can always build another turret, and you can always put down a level 1 turret in the middle of a combat. It doesn't have to be a level 2 turret to be effective.
All right.
So
your the only reason for this was, it was only to be like sneaky in case they walk forward, that turret can get them from the back. That was the only reason. So, but sometimes you're saying it's better to just place a level 1 turret just to distract the enemy.
Your gun does an incredible amount of damage. And taking you out of the fight there and making you an easy target is not worth it.
Right.
So yeah, right now you're babysitting your turret too much, and because of the way you're placing your turret, it's still not getting as much value as it could. So even if you if you are going to place turrets, for example, you can have them get much higher value, and they can people can, you can place them in ways where they distract people and force people to actually kind of deal with them, which can almost assist with a tank's pressure, for example. So if instead of this map, we're going to go look at, wait, what am I doing? Show lobby. Let's go look at Oasis, which you're on here. Was there a PTR update today?
Yeah.
Cool.
Welcome to Oasis.
Okay. Did we actually get the right map? Oh, we didn't get the right map.
Build 'em up, break 'em down.
Anyway, we can still kind of show it on this map. But you can also look in to set up turrets in places where you yourself are safe. So yeah, let's use this area where if you wanted to set up a turret that has value, one of the things you can do is use this wall as cover, but set the turret up in, a place where you can still hammer it from safety like that. So that'll set the turret up. And then you can do the same sort of thing on the high ground, where you set the turret really close to the edge. You can get it pretty close to the edge like that. And then it's actually going to be able to look over the ledge compared to if it's much farther back there. So anytime you can either use the high ground or cover to safely set up your turret, that's good. But if a person... So if a person does actually start shooting your turret, it means that they can see it, and that's fine. If a person is preventing you from setting your turret up, you shouldn't be like, oh no, I can't get my turret up. You can be like, fantastic, I am distracting an opponent DPS. So what you can do is instead let them destroy that one, but then immediately start to move and set the turret up in a different location. And you can make a person play just whack-a-mole, basically, with your turrets. And if they're constantly trying to destroy these level 1 turrets, then the pressure has been dramatically reduced off of your supports and your tanks. And then if your level 1 turret is left alone, it's still going to get value while you yourself can run around just left-clicking people. But hammering turrets that are easily going to get destroyed or hammering turrets that are not going to provide value during 90% of team fights is just going to reduce the impact you have on the game overall.
Right. That makes sense, because I think most of the time my problem is I try to protect and repair my turret rather than just letting it die and setting it up.
Yeah, your turret is expendable, and putting it in a new location can be so distracting and disorienting. And if people, especially in the lower elos, don't know how to manage a turret's aggression. So here's a question. What decides what your turret actually attacks?
First, I was thinking
Is it the closest thing to the turret?
Close. That's what I thought.
Nope. It's not the closest thing to the turret.
Is it the thing that's attacking the turret?
Nope. Attacking the turret will not draw its aggression.
No.
It will attack whatever enters its line of sight first until that exits its line of sight. So if you are going to engage on a turret or engage against a Torbjorn, you basically need to send your main tank in first. But if a tracer, for example, enters the line of sight of the turret before a tank does, that tracer can't shake the turret's aggression, even if a tank... So if a tracer enters LOS first and then a Reinhardt shields the tracer, it will still maintain LOS through the shield. So one of the ways that you can actually counter a defensive Winston is by jumping in, drawing the aggression of the Torbjorn turret onto Winston, but then he places the bubble. And the turret will stay locked onto the Winston, but it will hit his bubble instead, giving his team and his flankers and whatnot time to do whatever it is that they want to do. So at the higher levels, being able to manage a turret's aggression is pretty important. No one below Masters probably is going to know that. So if you are worried about flankers, you can put your turret in a location which, other than kind of pressuring the main team, is going to give your supports just a safe area to operate in the same way that, you could think of a Harmony and a Discord Orb greatly favoring a support if they're fighting a tracer or something like that.
Right.
You could think of less of his turret as a way of doing DPS and more of a way of denying an area to the opponent until the fight's devolved, in which you just drop level 1 turrets to be a fucking annoyance and draw people's attention, in which case you're operating more like an off tank. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can think and operate about using your turret as Torbjorn.
Right. Makes sense.
Okay. How does the turret animation cancel work? You You right click and then E left click, right click. Like you can place a turret between the cycle time of your gun. It's not really an animation cancel. It's just you can place turret fast enough that it doesn't influence the rate of fire of your main gun.
This is me going on a last-ditch effort, trying to make some plays.
Yeah, so flanks like these are really bad because when you're thinking about characters like Torbjorn, you want things like your value over time, and again, your molten coring before you've set your turret up, because this is like the other thing. So if you had turret first, then molten core, like you could also, during the molten core, your gun also gets an upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like your gun, you yourself get a shit ton of armor. Like look at how much you are the most armored character in the game when you're in molten core.
Right.
And your gun gets an upgrade. And you reload faster. So because you're dropping your turret and then molten coring, the value that is lost off you using your gun, you're using your hammer onto a turret instead, and then Moira negates all of that by just dealing like 1 damage per tick to your turret. So if you are going to be going on these flanks, which aren't wrong, that can be your signature, that can be your playstyle. Like characters can be played 1,000 different ways. So if you want flanking Torb to be your playstyle, the biggest change about your playstyle that you're going to have to change is turret level 2 first, then molten core, so that the turret's build can't be interrupted. You don't give your location away based on audio cues, and then you can actually contribute to the fight with your left and right clicks.
But I'm thinking that if I place my turret behind, right, and as soon as I place my turret, it's going to start attacking someone.
Yes.
And I will never be able to upgrade it to level 2 if they just look around and
well, then your flank was a bad idea in the first place.
But if I supercharge it like I did right now, I can get it to level 3.
Nope. Whether like if the person notices the turret, it's not like it's just like setting it up like that fraction of a second faster. Molten core is not going to assist that or provide enough value to make that worthwhile.
All right.
It's a poor decision.
All right.
That's not really. That's just factually wrong. There's not really much to coach there except for saying that that's wrong. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Questions for me?
None. I think I've learned a lot.
Okay.
Especially regarding turrets and animation cancels on when to use what. I think I can do better.
Sounds good.
My Torbjorn has my win rate on Torbjorn is 60%, which is as much as my Zenyatta, like highest win rate, correct?
Yep.
Which is weird.
Well, 60% means you're, the winnable fights you are making winnable. So you should be able to climb with the 60% win rate. And if you take the tips that we just went over now, I wouldn't be surprised if you got an 80% win rate. So.
All right. I'll try my best.
Cool.
Get back into silver.
Thanks for coming on, and thanks for the VOD submission.
Right. Thank you so much, Jayne.
Cheers, bud.
Helped me a lot.